gummy bear.
It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this for May 26, 2023. For the next hour or so, let me help you sort through the world of gaming on Game S Mornings Live with me, Jeff Grubb. Today, more details from Sony's new hardware and news from another games showcase. But first, please join me in welcoming today's co-host of Game S Mornings. It's Tamor Hussein, everybody. Tam, how are you doing?
I have problems with my wisdom teeth. Let's go!
Let's fucking go!
Yes!
Is it they just coming in sideways? They just really messing up the mouth?
They are shredding the inside of my cheek right now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy, that's a fun one. Is it still at a point where you go in there and it's a quick procedure, or are they saying like, listen, now you're a bit older, so things are just kind of fucked up, and we're gonna have to get in there and do some stuff to that mouth?
Guess, Jeff. Guess which one do you think it is? Have a guess. Which one do you think it is, baby?
I'm gonna go ahead and say maybe it's a bit on the older side, so it's gonna be probably a little bit rough in there, huh?
That shit is gonna cost me multiple thousands of dollars.
Oh boy, oh man, teeth, mouth stuff, baby. That's what we do here on this show. I was lucky that my parents were like, no, you have to just go do this. I'm like, what the fuck, wisdom teeth? All right, yeah, that's a myth, right? I'm like, that's not real. And then they're like, no, you're gonna go to the doctor, and then I just passed out and I woke up and my wisdom teeth were taken out. Had that not happened, Tam, I would probably still have them just messing me up today. So yeah, I've considered myself lucky. Not lucky in a lot of other ways when it comes to teeth stuff, but yeah, is it do you have the appointment set? Is it like something that's definitely happening?
No, not yet. So I had a recent, luckily, like my dentist is also a very close friend.
Okay, good.
So she's like, okay, we'll figure this out. But I've never had any issues. And I see in chat someone saying British man with bad teeth, news at 11. Kiss my ass. My teeth are great. Not all British people have bad teeth.
Yeah, hashtag not all British people. Yeah,
a bunch of them. So like I haven't had much. I've got fillings and stuff, but
yeah, of course.
I haven't had many issues with my teeth up until recently. And it's like not all of my teeth not all of the wisdom teeth are a problem. It's just like one of them is slightly sharp and it's like cutting me. And then my dentist was like, you shouldn't have these, just get them out. And I was like, oh shit.
We are perfectly designed creatures with too many teeth in our faces.
It is wild that there's parts of us that are like, you just take that out.
Yeah, what do you have that for?
Why do you have that?
I didn't decide this. This wasn't my choice.
Tonsils?
Yeah.
What? Get that out.
And then it's like the next year, like, oh, tonsils are actually pretty dope. And it's like, wait, what? We're going back and forth on tonsils?
Yeah.
All right. I still don't know what tonsils. In my head, the tonsils are the thing that hang in the back of the throat, but I know that's something else now. I can't.
No.
Can never remember what that is.
That's called the punching bag.
It's called the punching bag, right? Exactly. That's the punching bag for when Tom is in, or when Jerry's in Tom's mouth and he's in there just punching so he doesn't get eaten. That's right. That's the move.
Yeah.
Tonsils
actually give you access to the nightmare frontier.
Oh, that's the window to the soul. Is that what that is? That's what they say about the tonsils.
You have to get it off Lesser Amygdala at the church at the end of the Grand Cathedral. But once you get your tonsils, you're off to Nightmare Frontier. You go.
See, this is why I watch your lore videos, man. This is it.
Hell yeah.
This show's gonna be a mess. It continues to be a mess. But we're gonna explain what we do here. Most weekdays, I, Jeff Grubb, help piece your gaming life back together. That includes breaking news and maybe even some of our own original reporting. For all these topics, I'll get the input of a bona fide expert who will make me look smart. If you're watching live on Twitch, welcome. You can always listen to the show later on podcast feeds by searching for Game S Mornings or find the RSS on giantbomb.com. You can also catch the show later with chapters and timestamps on YouTube or catch it there live. Hello, YouTube.
Hi.
We have a lot to get into, so let's start the morning mess with PlayStation handheld Project Q will launch in November, according to a report. This comes from Evan Campbell at GameSpot. Sony is reportedly aiming for a mid to late November launch for the codenamed Project Q streaming handheld device. The company has also only confirmed the PS5 accessory will arrive sometime this year so far. Insider Gaming owner Tom Henderson reported on the targeted release window for Project Q on Twitter. Henderson also was the first to divulge details on the PlayStation console to handheld streaming handheld. weird sentence. Back in April, Sony officially unveiled Project Q at the PlayStation Showcase earlier this week. To be clear, Project Q isn't a dedicated handheld gaming system. Instead, the device, which sports an 8-inch screen, utilizes remote play to stream downloaded games from your PS5. The accessory also boasts all of the current DualSense controller features. This was one of those things coming out of the showcase. A lot of stuff was like talked about. Not everything got exact dates. They seem to be like holding back on dates. The showcase not about those sorts of details. I guess we're kind of used to that now. November though sounds probably right. I don't. Do you think they have time to sort of build this thing up into something that people care about? Because right now it feels like only I am going to buy this thing and no one else is.
They've got time to build this thing up. Whether they build it up into something that people care about is a separate thing. I think they're going to have an uphill struggle I imagine the expectations for this aren't super high. I don't think they're looking to sell a crazy amount of units. If they are, grow up, because that ain't happening. People still haven't got comfortable with the idea of all digital games, yet alone all games that you kind of like to stream from your cloud, which I understand, like, and you own those games on a PlayStation and etc., so they are working, but like our peanut-sized brains aren't ready for like this kind of thing right. on a mass scale. I think that it will do okay if that thing is dirt cheap, like crazy. Like if it's $150 max, if they roll out with the premium Sony, like dirting off their shoulders and being like, this will cost you $300, they are gonna eat ass for the rest of the year. That is it.
What do you think the over-under is on them eating ass? Because I think it's pretty high.
I think it's pretty high, baby, because they keep saying it's got all the features of the DualSense. And I'm
yes,
like,
they do.
You are saying. I know
that
why
thing costs $70. I know. I've just bought one that fucking the battery died on right away, motherfuckers. Like, I know what you're going to charge me for this thing. It's not going to be 100. Ain't no way that thing's going to be 100.
No, they're like, we got a DualSense. We cut it in half. We put a screen in the middle. It costs you $500. Let's fucking go. I'm like, no.
Okay, so the number that I like, the over-under number I come to is 250, and I think
absolutely not. Like, maybe I'm an idiot and I don't know what I'm talking about. If you are charging $250 for a thing that plays cloud games and that looks that ugly,
well, but it's not even cloud, because it's just remote from your own PS5.
Yeah, from your own PS5. Like, I can do that on a Xbox with my phone.
Yes, and you can do that with the phone or with your PlayStation 5 right now as well. It's just like exactly. This is like promising all the features of the DualSense or DualSense controller. So it's like, all right, we're slapping a controller to a tablet, which is literally exactly what it is when you look at it. It's just a DualSense split in half with the screen in the middle.
Yeah,
I actually love that because it looks stupid as hell, and I love stupid as hell things. Look at me.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
it looks stupid as hell, and despite everything I said, I'm like, I kind of want it.
Oh, I'm totally getting one. Well, I'm totally getting one. Absolutely, yes. Give me that dumb thing. Give me that stupid, like moronic batarang, and I'm just gonna I'll toss it and throw it and see what happens in my backyard. It comes down to the price. I mean, what else can we say until we get those details? The release date, yeah, sure. It's coming later this year, right before Black Friday, I guess. It's going to be an accessory. It's going to sell to those PlayStation 5 owners that were there on day one getting the PlayStation 5, and they just love spending money on hardware. I know, because I am one of those kinds of people.
VR people that have got a PlayStation VR 2, and they're like, hell yeah.
Exactly. Give them one more thing to buy. Of course, yeah, they're going to line up. They're going to line up no matter what the price is. But if in terms of this thing's success beyond that, it's going to come down to that price, and we just don't know. Yeah. It is Sony, though.
It is really interesting to me, though. Like, I also kind of, I'm willing and ready to be surprised by it. If they're like, yeah, we've made this thing that plays PlayStation 5 games and looks really nice over your own cloud, I'll be like, and if it's cheap enough, I'll be like, okay, cool, man. Like, it is interesting that we've now reached the stage where everyone is trying to figure out how to make high-end gaming work on a mobile device. And the Steam Deck has been a major kind of reason why that's happening, but also convenience and that kind of stuff. So it's so weird to see so many hideous looking devices out there now that are just like weird. Like, I think the Steam Deck looks really nice, but there are some other devices out there that I'm like, yo, what is this? What are you doing?
Yep.
And like I would like to see Sony like put this out for a affordable price, and it does exactly what they say really well. I think that's could have the potential to really catch on in a not in a major way, but in a way that's like the people who regularly play video games like us, if it's cheap enough, will be like, oh, okay, yeah,
Yep.
I'll do that. If it's easy, like if I can play my PlayStation 5 games from like another room or even like another, location in the world, that's pretty sweet. But
Agreed.
somehow my Sony's track record is probably like it leads me to believe they're going to price it for way too much, and then that is going to be like the killer.
Yep. I think that functionality, a lot of people, when I was like posting about this on Twitter, a lot of people reached out, and this is something I tried to get it working on my Steam Deck, so PlayStation Remote Play, and I couldn't get it to work. I kept getting errors when I set up the the third-party app that someone made to get it to work. It apparently works for other people. I'm sure I just stumbled into something stupid, but people are like, oh, I do it on my phone all the time, and it's okay, but I wish it was better. Hey, if this is better than that, if this is like has better connection protocol to the PS5 than the Android app, that'll probably be worth it to me. And it's like there's no guarantee that's the case either. I would hope that's like part and parcel with this, because like you're doing all this effort. You would hope that you would like go back in there and make sure that the thing that actually connects this device to the PlayStation 5 is spruced up. We'll have to wait and see for that as well. But I think you're right. If I can have this thing, I can play it in bed. I can play it on the potty. I can play it when I'm, when it's like time to like wind down with the kids, and I'm letting them have a little bit of tablet time, and we're all sitting on the beanbag, and I'm like, I don't want to play a game, but PS5's downstairs. There's no way I'm going to get back down there tonight. That fits into my life real well. So again, I'm kind of there almost no matter what. I won't be surprised if the thing bungles something and sits on my shelf then afterward. But I'm gonna give it a chance no matter what.
Jeff, you raised a really interesting discussion topic there that I feel like
just hit me with it.
Since it's Dreg's Day,
we got to do it.
We should dig into this a bit.
Yeah,
I've also looked ahead at the other stories, and some of these are straight snooze.
Just absolutely going to get destroyed from this rundown. Absolutely nuked from space.
Tell me more about playing games on the shitter. What are you into? What do you like? This is a no shame zone. I also am a shitter gamer.
Thank you.
I love to. I have always said this. If people were more honest.
Mm-hmm.
When asked the question, what is their favorite thing to do in life, they would say shitting. There's very few things on earth that isn't universally as satisfying as taking a shit.
Yep.
Right.
You really like you're accomplishing something. It's something that you made, right? It's like
it's something you're creative, right? You're losing weight. You're doing exercise.
It's got all the best things in life.
Right? It's the perfect activity. There's three things in life that are as exciting.
Oh boy.
Like,
okay.
There's taking a shit.
Sure.
Having sex.
Definitely.
And eating chicken wings.
Okay. Yes.
Right. Those are the three essentials of life.
Well, that's the Holy Trinity, I think. It's in the Bible. Yeah.
And gaming, you can enhance taking a dump. How do you enhance your dumps?
Yep. You can't. I listen. I'm not going to play games. Well, not video games during sex. Like that's just not going to happen. Chicken wings. My fingers are messy. Not going to happen. The act of sitting down on the potty. I like sit down. I'm good. I can pick up my thing without feeling like anything's getting rough or dirty. And absolutely, I love it. It used to be even more satisfying because it was I wasn't. Listen, I haven't taken a shit alone in years because I have kids. And like you sit on the potty and they're like, "Hey, what's happening, homie?" I'm like, oh, hey, okay, yeah, come on in, sure.
Yeah, what are you making?
Yeah, it's like, but I still like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go play my game. You go play outside there. But yeah, it's right now. It's definitely Zelda. But the Steam Deck and the Switch have been coming with me every room in this house, including the bathroom, for years now.
What are your most memorable gaming while shitting kind of experiences? Because I can say there was an extended stretch of time where I played most Pokemon games and completed them on the shitter. I have beaten multiple iterations of the Elite Four while taking a shit.
Yes.
And those are some of my favorite.
Yeah, I love this because I do like when I'm in the middle of a gaming session and I start a poop. I'm like, I'm in no rush. I'm gonna like enjoy this. I'm gonna sit here and go. And I don't care what the world thinks about me out there. I'm in here. I'm safe.
Okay.
I did. I've never said this before. The one and only time I got a victory in Tetris 99 was while taking a poop, and that was a pretty magical moment. I have to say that was pretty beautiful.
Jeff, I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Top 5 games to play while taking a dump.
Yeah, I mean, I think I want a variety. I want something like, definitely like it was Breath of the Wild, probably Tears of the Kingdom right now. With the Steam Deck, Hitman, World of Assassination, like it gives those creative juices flowing, which I find gets the mechanics of pooping flowing, of course. I think that then something like Tetris 99, a Tetris game,
yeah, that's great,
is very good. And then there's going to be some classics in there, like I'll take a Wave Race 64, something that I don't have to think about at all, and it's just the brain is just completely going to latch onto it and play it itself, and I don't have to actively engage, like think about stuff. It's just going to happen. And then I don't know. I mean, maybe I should take up Pokemon. That could be my next pooping game.
Yeah,
Vampire Survivors. People are saying that's a good one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yellow is my favorite Pokemon to play on the shitter, and the re-release of Yellow was pretty. I forgot what it's called, Pokemon Pikachu version or whatever the hell it's called. That was also very good. So I would do recommend that. Vampire Survivors is correct. Metal Gear Acid is one that I historically really, really enjoy. There's something really satisfying about getting the demons out through your butthole while also playing this card-based, turn-based Metal Gear game. What are the other ones that I was playing? I've played a bunch of Peace Walker on the pooper as well, which is good. Lumines is really, really fun.
Is this why people like their PSP so much? They were just...
Dude, the PSP and the Vita were amazing pooping machines. Yeah. But also the DS. Advance Wars, that's the other one.
Advance Wars is definitely up there, yes.
I have played a crazy amount of Advance Wars on a crap ton. Yeah, so those are the top. We should do like some sort of actual video feature about.
Yeah, we can do a tier list. Absolutely. The tier list of the top pooping game, or maybe a Mount Rushmore or something. All right, we got new marathon details. Hey, Tam, thank you.
You're welcome, man.
New marathon details revealed in behind-the-scenes video. This comes from Alex Hopley at Game Reactor. Bungie took us all by surprise a couple days ago when it revealed Marathon, a return to its first IP after almost 30 years since its inception. While we only got a cinematic trailer at the PlayStation Showcase, Bungie has given us some more details in a behind-the-scenes video. The video, entitled What is Marathon?, gives us insight into some of the gameplay mechanics that sound incredibly ambitious. For example, it is alluded to by Bungie that in the game, there are some progression mechanics that can lead to things being unlocked for the entire community, such as artifacts being found in games that can unlock new maps. Bungie is targeting player-led stories with its with this extraction shooter, and is allowing the player to make a lot of choices by the looks of things, including player progression and build variety. I'm like wondering, Tam, how do you feel about the overall direction of Bungie's next game after Destiny? I think a lot of people are like, it would be nice if we got a Bungie single-player game again. It's like, well, that's clearly not going to happen. So if that's not going to happen, does this sort of fit in with like, okay, I guess I can get down with this? Because to me, this sounds good, but I'm not someone that was craving that single-player Bungie game like a lot of other people.
I was craving a single-player Bungie game. I'm craving anything new. I think a lot of people are craving an entry point into a Bungie game.
Yeah, sure. I think that's exactly what it is for me with this. That's exactly right.
Yeah, and think that there's going to be... It's interesting how they approach... It will be interesting how they approach it and how it kind of measures up to what people want and the expectations. I think there was a time when Bungie was known for having single-player experiences. So when something like Destiny came out, where this was ongoing story that didn't have a more traditional single-player campaign, it took a really long time for people to adjust their kind of perception of that studio and what they're getting out of that game. And now I think that they've fully become that studio where it's like you get this persistent world shooter kind of experience. And I think a lot of people have really watched Destiny become incredibly popular, and people evangelize it and speak really popularly about, like really excitedly about it. So they want in on that action, but Destiny is really tricky to get into. So I imagine a lot of people are seeing this and going, hell yeah, I'm going to get into a new Bungie game. And I think the game they're going to get is going to be very different from the one they expect with Destiny. And it's going to be that another like momentary or like a shift in kind of what people want. I think there's going to be a period where people are like, I don't know if I want this from...
Yeah, 2 weeks later, it's going to be like, there's going to be a lot of questions, a little bit of a backlash. Yeah, and then I think like 6 months later, it's gonna find the audience that like was like, oh, this actually is something I didn't know I was looking for.
It will be like, oh shit, they made an extraction shooter, which I'm not being rude about extraction shooters. I think they're really interesting, but they have that same kind of like, this is fucking held together by hopes and dreams kind of feel to them.
Oh, for sure.
And they had that. Remember when like DayZ came out and like PUBG, and it was like janky and weird and that kind of stuff? That's what they largely are for most people now. I don't think we've had an extraction shooter that is super, super polished outside of maybe Division's multiplayer thing. But that was just like a mode, right? Like you had that weird Dark Souls.
Yeah, we
stuff.
haven't had the Fortnite, we haven't had the Apex Legends of the extraction shooter, at least as far as I'm not completely familiar with the genre. I haven't played everything, but I think we have not had that AAA polished version of that yet.
Yes, and I think that this is going to be that. It's going to be, I hope, the thing is, like, there's also people like us who are like, extraction used to be like a mode in a bigger game. How do we get here? So I do hope that they have more meat around on that bone to kind of keep it going. And I guess I'm sure they would. Like, you bring back Marathon, you clearly have an idea for a world or an ongoing thing that you want to do with it. But yeah, it's going to be, I think I'm excited about it, but also I'm kind of tempering my expectations because there are other factors at play here. You know, Bungie was just bought for a lot of dollars by Sony, who is now looking forward for lifestyle, multiplayer shooter style, persistent games. They have made it clear that they want these ongoing, keep coming back experiences. So there is kind of a push to make one of these games. And I don't know if like this is going to be one of those situations where it's like ticking a box as opposed to doing something that is a real passion in the same way that Destiny was. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited. I'm intrigued more than anything.
The style was very good. People in chat are highlighting Hunt Showdown, which, of course, that one is. I don't think that's an equivalent to Apex Legends, which is kind of what I meant. But I think obviously it's polished. And then Modern Warfare 2 did have DMZ. I haven't played that. I was under the impression that people were like kind of passed on that, but apparently a lot of people were like, I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't like particularly great. Like it was. I think what's different here is like it's not a cobbled together thing out of other things. Like this feels like its own, like an entire universe that is built around the idea of an extraction shooter. It's like way more interesting to me. And you know what? If they nail it and it works well on the Project Q, and I can play it while taking a shit, maybe I'll be into it.
Yep, that's what I need. Dude, just make that promise to me, Bungie. Mm-hmm. Jim Ryan put out like a press release. We kind of talked about the showcase. He said the PlayStation event showed the best and most varied game catalog of games possible, which I think is a bold statement. This comes from Jonas Maki at Game Reactor. Sony had their first major showcase in a very long time this week, with the last one taking place in 2021. While there were a ton of games being shown, the event was still met with fairly lukewarm enthusiasm from gamers who thought there wasn't enough exclusives, not enough AAA titles, and too much live service. But one person who still thinks it went great and showed Sony's unwavering commitment to offer PlayStation fans the best and most varied catalog of games possible is PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan. No
way.
Yeah, his full quote is basically just kind of that. I mean, the main thing here is most varied game catalog possible, and he thinks it went great. I just kind of brought this in here, Tam, because we're a couple days removed. I've like thought about this, and I'm like at a point where I get why this showcase was what it was to a certain extent. I think it still isn't a very good showcase because they didn't play to the expectations. But at the same time, a lot of those games are probably going to be very good. I don't want to go like fly off the handle, be like, it's a D or an F. But I do think it's a C, because when you're playing those expectations and you miss the mark on that, that's a big part of these showcases. And they didn't have the key games or the key studios that would have really helped there, other than the known quantity of Spider-Man 2. How are you feeling about it at this point?
I mean, with the context of this story, like CEO of company says company did good thing is like, okay, cool. Thanks, man. How do I feel about it? I feel like I don't think it was amazing. I also don't think it was terrible in the same way that most people are making it out to be, or like, I don't think it was entirely boring. I think it was absolutely fine. Like, it was fine. Like, as we know now, gamers are always mad. Like, there is no way that you can put out a showcase that is universally agreed upon as like that was fantastic. Like, it's very exceedingly rare.
Yes.
Like, Nintendo has banger directs and people come out and be like, that was shit because Metroid Prime didn't show up. And it's like, okay, you ignored all the other things to say this one thing. It's like, whatever. I think it is. I would have, the thing that people are kind of like reacting to is they didn't have more of the thing that they're known for, which is like these AAA single player narrative driven experiences. They had one of those, which was Spider-Man, in a big bad way, but everything else was like, okay. People wanted certain things, you know. They wanted The Last of Us multiplayer game, factions. They wanted more from, you know, an Uncharted or something like that. What's going on with all these? What is Sucker Punch up to, etc. That's what people went into this wanting, because let's not forget, like, the proximity of this show to Summer Games Fest, the E3 period.
This is their E3, right? This was positioned as one. It's supposed to be. It was supposed to be.
Whether it is I don't think that it was supposed to be. But like, I think they never positioned it as such.
Well, I just took it as such. Calling it a showcase is when they have done it, like they stopped doing their E3 presence. Their showcase was the replacement for E3 in terms of prestige and putting on pomp and circumstance. Yeah,
I think they've also used showcase previously for these PlayStation Direct things multiple times. So it's kind of, I think the proximity to the Summer Games Fest period is what made us kind of interpret it as E3, because they've done these PlayStation showcases for other stuff and just put out and showed like some shit that no one cares about. Like, it's
the last one was like when we did get Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine announced, and the one before that was like the PS5 announcement. So it's like there have been big ones, but you're right. There's been I think a variety of sort of tiers of showcases.
On the flip side, when they first started doing this, they were doing this willy-nilly for pretty much like too many things that people didn't care about. And then they had got the feedback and people were like, and they were like, we'll make sure that every time we do one of these, we've got something significant to show. Yeah. So that also sets people up to be like, oh shit, this is going to be amazing. It's going to be loads of things. And there's also been like a dearth of anything announcement-wise from PlayStation. Like, everyone else is making a big...
And then what's after that?
Everyone else is starting to make a big deal about their stuff. You know, Tears of the Kingdom is absolutely popping off. Nintendo looks amazing right now. Microsoft is out there being like, wait until E3. We've got Starfield. We've got some other shit that you're ready for. You're not ready for. And like these, Sony has to say something. Like, and like we went into it being like, okay, cool. It didn't meet the expectations that we had, but it still wasn't a disaster.
It definitely was a disaster.
I think there was a lot of shit that I was like, what is this, man?
Yes. I think that
I'm looking at Foam Stars. I'm like, what is this, man?
Foam Stars is Square Enix just looking at those Splatoon numbers in Japan and be like, oh, I guess we got to make one of those. Like, homie, that's not how it works. I think I had this like realization last night when I was talking about this. This showcase was kind of in a rough spot because they built it like one of their traditional showcases or one of their traditional E3 shows, but they filled it with content that doesn't serve that style very well, because in the past it is Ghost of Tsushima and it is God of War, Spider-Man, and all these games that a lot of people, a lot of Sony fans specifically, can imagine themselves playing one after the other, after the other, after the other. Like, hey, I'm going to play through all this game, and then what's next? Oh, Spider-Man's here? Fantastic. Oh, there's something after that? Fantastic. The games they did show here, their first-party games, were, you're going to maybe pick one of those, because they're a live service game. They're one game. And it's kind of hard to tell if it's going to be the one game you want to play, because there's also a lot of live service. Like, these are one game you're going to pick, not just versus these other 4 games in the showcase, or 3 games in the showcase. It's against every live service game that exists. And you got to, like, is this going to be my game? Who knows? But even if like one of these games is, there's no way all of them are going to be your games. So they filled a showcase with stuff that's like, maybe, I guess, I don't know. And that just doesn't really fit this format very well. And as opposed to a bunch of single player narrative. I mean, I think that's kind of, it's like evident at this point that that's kind of what was the problem. But still, it's like, that's Sony's strategy right now, is going in the direction of live service games. That doesn't mean abandoning single player games, but they had to like get it off the ground. This feels like them launching that, and they used an old playbook for a new strategy. And I think that's where it went wrong. It's kind of got spoiled a little bit, because they didn't think about how these games are a different type of video game and needed to be presented in a different way. And I think they kind of paid the price a little bit with their fans. Now, again, this is not some tragedy. This isn't some disaster. This isn't even a train wreck. It was just kind of a disappointment, and disappointment is fleeting. Well, you could be disappointed for a couple of weeks, and then another video game comes along, and you're going to forget all about that, and it's not going to matter.
I think you are correct. And I think, Jeff, we should take it upon ourselves to give some advice to the general gaming public.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
And it is expectations are always high, right?
Yes.
You want to be satisfied by these showcases. But when you sit down in front of your TV on the couch and you watch it, or you sit down in front of your, computer screen, you're watching on your mobile phone from your bed, there's no guarantee that it's going to be satisfying. So what you should do is watch these things from the toilet while you're sharing.
There it is.
Because either way, you're leaving there satisfied. Whether it's from the poop or from the showcase,
or both,
does not matter.
Yeah.
You leave that toilet satisfied. So that is the Giant Bomb.
That's our motto.
PSA. Watch all the showcases from the shitter while shitting.
Mm-hmm. You got any strategy for making sitting for long periods of time comfortable? Do you have like a padded seat or something?
No, I think you just need to make sure that you're not completely still the entire time.
Yes, you got to kind of shimmy.
I think you just got to like move up and down, like move your leg every now and then.
Exactly.
I also
am
a proponent. Yeah, I'm also a proponent of having like a small footstool when you're there for a decent time. You want to make sure that you're stretching out a bit, and like having a footrest almost kind of like puts you in a position where not only are you going to be able to sit there for longer, it just comes out faster. It's like going full speed into a corner in Mario Kart, and you hit that jump into a drift at the perfect moment. And you just glide around. That is the poop hitting the pipes.
Siegfried says you're all going to get hemorrhoids. Siegfried, you're wrong. Hemorrhoids are going to get us. All right? They better fucking watch out.
Yeah.
All right, we're pros.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
I was bored with the hemorrhoids. I was molded by it. The new Alone in the Dark stars David Harbour and Jodie Comer. It's coming out in October. This comes from Chris Scullion at VGC. Developed by THQ's Swedish studio Pieces Interactive, Alone in the Dark will be released on October 25th and will be available on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC for $60. As revealed during a showcase video highlighting the game, Alone in the Dark stars Harbour and Comer as, Edward Carnby and Emily Hartwood as they explore the mysterious mansion of Derceto. Again, this is another one where I'm like, okay, there's the news. Tam, do you think Alone in the Dark with like stars like this is going to have the juice it takes to matter in 2023?
Jeff, we've done this before. I'm going to do it again. Do you want the reason
Strikes Day, baby. You know
game
what I want.
journalist, or do you want the Tam answer?
You know what? I want that Tam answer.
No one gives a shit. Okay? No one fucking cares. Okay? We are way past the point where putting a famous person in your game has any sort of impact, unless it is a game that is one, exciting, two, is like a celebrity that is absolutely popping off. You know how you do that? You put Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk. Yeah. You know why that worked? Because it was fucking Cyberpunk.
And it was
people
Keanu
were
Reeves.
losing their shit, and Keanu Reeves. Yep. You have put Alone in the Dark, which people have not thought about for decades. And then you have done Jodie Comer and David Harbour.
Listen, I love David Harbour, but that's very much I'm a middle-aged man almost, so it's like, of course I love David Harbour. That's not.
I think David Harbour is a nice man.
He's a hero to dad bods everywhere. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. But like he is in. I could turn my TV on and pick any channel, and chances are I'll land on a David Harbour thing.
Sure.
He's everywhere.
Yes.
Like he's in all things right now. I'm just like, okay, cool. Like there's nothing exciting about this. And you know what was exciting about Keanu Reeves? Like they made a character out. Like he was cool. Like he was his figure. You're like, oh,
he talked about his penis a lot.
Yeah, he talked about his pee-pee. He told people that they were beautiful. And this is just a picture of two characters, man. Like I hope Alone in the Dark is good. I love the idea of having another kind of survival horror or horror franchise out there again. Do I think that putting Jodie Comer or David Harbour in this is going to help at all? No. The other situation where celebrities work is when you're Hideo Kojima and they're your best friend.
Yep, they get added to your famous people collection.
Yeah. If you're in the Hideo Kojima famous collection, chances are it means that Hideo Kojima looks at you with loving eyes and a smile, and that's you go into the game knowing, man, he loved this person, and that's why they. You know why Leah Saidu is in this? Because Hideo Kojima thinks she's
because
nice.
he saw a show once and she was definitely in it, and
exactly.
that's it. That's why I got so mad when people are like, why would you think Final Fantasy 16 is based on, inspired by Game of Thrones? I'm like, have you ever met a Japanese developer? They watch so much goddamn TV. Like, I promise you, that's
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. They love TV over there.
You know what? The other thing that really like hinted or gave the game away and kind of clued everyone in on that, despite people not believing it, is when they said it's inspired by Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
that was wild. I was
that
like,
really, I
they
think
were
that
like,
really,
hey, they were like, hey, this game is inspired by Game of Thrones, and everyone went, what could that mean?
It's yep. It ruled when they just fucking said it. It made my year. I've been like walking on cloud nine over here ever since. That's been so good. All right, there's some other games announced. This is stuff that's like, I almost didn't include this, but they're like game announcements, so I guess here we are. Warhammer 40k goes Twisted Metal in the Combat Racer Speed Freaks. That's Freeks, in case you need to Google it. This comes from Michael McWhorter at Polygon. Games Workshop's Warhammer 40k franchise is aiming to fill the Twisted Metal shaped hole in the hearts of fans with a new car combat racing game. Kind of blah blah blah. I mean, those are the details. I'm trying to see if there's there's an early access version that you could request access to on Steam right now. They are promising that it's a bit sort of messy, and those are the details. I like that this happens with Warhammer. I like that they just make every goddamn thing.
Crazy amount of Warhammer games. I like they're everywhere.
Yep.
And like roll callies in like 80% of them.
Yep. That rules.
This is fantastic. A bolt gun is genuinely quite good. So
I think I'm going to be playing that.
It is like a boomer shooter, and there's a button dedicated to hearing roll callies scream at fucking Warhammer people about being shitty or like being chaos wankers or some shit like that, and
not suffering these heretics to live.
That is pretty good. But then also there's like a crazy amount of other shit. Like I think Space Marine is the one that's probably people have got the most kind of eyes.
Right. There's expectations there. There's no expectations for Speed Freaks. If that's like a weekend of fun, okay. Cool. Like if it's like a weird novelty that people are like, remember they made a Warhammer 40k game that was like Twisted Metal like 5 years from now, people say that's a success for this game. I love that. That's so cool. And then they can scale up to Space Marine 2 and be like, well, that game, Space Marine 1 was actually pretty good. Space Marine 2, I really hope is going to nail it. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, do all of that. I love that there is every week there's a new Space Marine or a new Warhammer game. That rules.
How isn't there a Warhammer Battle Royale game yet?
Yeah, I mean
that's crazy. Like 100 Space Marines, 100 Space Marines parachute onto an island. Come on, let's fucking go. And when they all land at once, it just like sinks the island because there's basically fucking huge.
They don't notice because they're just screaming like racial racial and religious like insults to one another. Yeah, that's a hell of a universe over there. We just played Gollum. We'll get to those reviews here in a second because we didn't talk about it in the show yesterday. But like I think Lord of the Rings actually should get the same treatment as Warhammer in terms of just make 1 million of those games. And if
I thought you meant a Battle Royale.
Well, why not? 100 hobbits fall onto an island. But it's like if like 10% of those games are good. This is how Star Wars games used to be. Like, and they're kind of getting back in that direction a little bit, but they're kind of going for a higher quality. But it used to be like, 10% of the Star Wars games were good, but they were super memorable. And even the bad ones were kind of fun in some fun ways, like Masters of Terraskazi. I love going back to that trash. Like, that's fun. Then there was the Marvelous Games Showcase, which happened. This comes from digitallydownloaded.net. Here is the list of the games. Stop me when you're interested, Tam. Loop 8, Summer of Gods, Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life, Rune Factory 3 Special, Fashion Dreamer, Project Magia, Project Life is RPG, Story of Seasons, untitled, A Story of Seasons, untitled but co-op, Rune Factory Project Dragon, Rune Factory 6, Daemon Ex Machina, Titanic Scion.
Here's the thing, man. I don't give a shit about any other stuff. Story of Seasons is probably the one that is worth keeping an eye on. Mainly because Story of Seasons is quite popular.
Yep.
Having said that, all of these could be made to be satisfying on the toilet.
Oh, for sure. Oh, man. A farming game with RPG elements? Rune Factory 6? Yeah, let's go. Yeah, why not?
Daemon Ex Machina Titanic Scion, while you are unleashing a Titanic Scion. All I'm saying, man. Give it a go.
Yep, that's a beautiful thing. All right.
Loop 8, more like Poop 8. Let's go.
All right, beautiful thing. All right, more Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 details have seemingly leaked. This comes from Tom the Machine Ivan. Last month, images of a toy car featuring a Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 turbocharged logo surfaced online alongside claims that the model will be a GameStop exclusive. According to a new report from data miner Bill Kuhn, who has an excellent track record of product leaks, the name of the sequel is accurate and the game will be published by Milestone in the near future. They claim it will be available in 3 editions: Standard, Deluxe, and Legendary, blah, blah, blah. Arcade Racers kind of came back. This was a big part of it. I'm glad they're doing a sequel. If this is true, why not? I like that Hot Wheels game kind of like was almost there for me. I know a lot of people really liked it. I was playing Cruise and Blast, as all civilized people were doing at the time. But I have another go around, and I bet this time I'm going to be on board. How do you feel about a Hot Wheels game?
I also agree with you. It was a surprisingly good game.
Yes.
I think we probably just a lot of us wrote it off because it's like, another one of these license thing. But it came out and a lot of people were like, this is good. I played a little bit and I was like, this is good. I think it just needed more content and it needed just to be fleshed out a bit more. And if this is doing that, like they might have something cool on their hands, like for real. So I'm excited to see if this materializes, like more of it. I hope it works out for them. There's always space for a good arcade racer, and also Hot Wheels is the perfect IP for it. Like it was in Forza. It's got its own game now. It makes perfect sense. There's not a lot of nostalgia around it. It's still something that you can actively engage in outside of the game. If they get it right, potentially it could be a big thing for them.
Yep. I think Arcade Racers went dormant there for a long time, and suddenly everyone's like, there's a whole lot of space for us to work with. Like Cruising Blast, which is also great on the toilet, is nothing like Hot Wheels really, and that's nothing like the like Disney Speedstorm, and that's nothing like the one that just came, Lego 2K Drive. And we're getting a lot. They all fill their own little niche, and they all provide like slight differences in terms of the presentation, because the things that they're showing us are a little bit like Hot Wheels is actually significantly different than Lego. So I'm like, keep trying all these things. All of them kind of work for me in different ways. I'm gonna have my favorites, but go for it. That's.
Do you remember when the like ex Burnout people made that weird Burnout kind of game? Remember that?
Yeah. Well, God, dangerous driving.
Dangerous driving.
Yeah,
yeah, that's why it was cool.
There was Dangerous Driving, and there was Dangerous Golf.
I think there was a sequel.
There's definitely Dangerous Driving 2. I have all of them on Steam, so I'm just gonna type in the word dangerous and let's see what happens. Because I'm like, there was like a third one, right? No, okay, Dangerous. Is it dangerous? Because I just typed in dangerous and I only got Dangerous Golf. Was it something
Dangerous
else?
Driving? I think it's Dangerous Driving. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Let me just type in drive. No, why isn't it popping up? Okay. Maybe I don't have it on Steam. Were they Epic Games? Maybe. Yeah, but it's 3 Fields Entertainment, and they were. I think they were still working on another one. I can't remember if it ever came out. I think maybe it did, because you said there's a sequel, and I think it actually did come out.
Yeah.
It's called Danger Zone. That's another one of them, right? But there's Dangerous Driving too, I think.
Dangerous Driving.
Yeah. Either way, yeah, that was. I always wanted to like those games even more. One of them I really did enjoy the crash mode in it, and then yeah. Recreation is the new one. Recreation. That's right. That's the one they've been working on for a very long time. Yes, Dangerous Driving is on Epic. Thank you, Googly.
3 Fields announced Dangerous Driving 2 for the then planned release of late 2021 for Microsoft Windows, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. It's expected to be an open world format similar to Burnout Paradise.
And it was Danger Zone and Danger Zone 2 were the crash mode games. That's what it is. I really like Danger Zone 2. It felt like an incomplete game. It felt like some stuff was missing along the like periphery, but I thought that like the core crashing stuff into stuff was actually pretty good. Man, Burnout 3 though, that's a hell of a game. Hell of a game. Pokemon franchise has now shipped over 480 million units of software worldwide. Update on that. It's Dregs Day. What are we going to do about this, Tam? I don't know what to say.
You know where I'm playing those games.
Oh, hell yeah! You playing the card games there too? When you taking a number 4 with a friend?
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you wanna challenge me to a Pokemon TCG game, you are coming into the toilet.
Let's fucking go.
I'm playing nothing but muck.
Homeworld 3 was delayed to 2024. There's that story. Let's go wrap back around to this one. A conflict of interest may have been identified in the CMA's blocking of Microsoft's mega merger. This comes from Ben Leon at Game Reactor. There have been a ton of opinions and questions made regarding the UK's Competition and Markets Authority blocking Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. Now the block has been called into question about its partiality, as Windows Central's Jez Corden reports that the senior director of the CMA, Colin Rafferty, formerly worked at the Cleary Gottlieb law firm, which has ties to Sony. This has led some to question whether there was any back scratching in regard to the deal, and if the CMA blocked the acquisition to do a favor for Sony. Now, Tam, I think this is like the tactic that Microsoft will almost certainly have to take to win its appeal, because the appeal is not going to be about when you appeal these things to the CMA in the UK, the appeal board, the appellate board does not care about the contents of the arguments. It only cares about the procedures and the ethics and the fairness. So if Microsoft is going to win that, it's going to be something along these lines. That said, it feels kind of like a technicality and like a weird thing to sort of win the argument on. And even if they do win it, then the decision goes back to the CMA, to the same people that made the decision in the first place. So it's like, it might be just a delay tactic. I don't know. But I mean, people work at places, they move on. I don't know if there's really a conflict of interest, although I suppose if there is any appearance of that, that's why you recuse yourself. And maybe they didn't do that and they should have.
Yeah, I think like it's one of those things where even if you're not actively doing something wrong, if you are in the room when it happens, people are going to be like, that's enough of it. It's like if you can create a reasonable argument around it, like, and I don't think people will believe in any plausible deniability, or like they're not going to be like, oh yeah, you're clearly a good person, so you probably won't do this. No, that's not. If Sony or Microsoft has a just cause to make the argument, that's all that really matters. Like, and they will take it, and it'll create enough of a narrative around it where maybe it gets pushed through, or maybe it's true. Who knows?
Yep, exactly. These procedures can continue. We'll see what happens. It does feel like, once again, momentum's behind that deal after the EU approved it, but who the hell knows? Who knows what Microsoft's strategy is if the UK never comes around? And are they willing to sort of build an island of different Microsoft products just for the UK, so the rest of the world can have the deal go through as normal? It's a weird thing. We still have to see how it's going to shake out. I mean,
the UK is actively trying to fucking destroy itself, so who knows what they're up to over there.
Yep. I mean, hey, listen, that's one thing we definitely have in common between these two countries. All right, let's see. There is a review roundup from Evan Campbell over at GameSpot for The Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Hey, look, let me save you some time. All the reviews said it was shit. They were like, God damn, what happened here?
Yeah, 2 out of 10 from GameSpot. Yep, it's a hell of a thing. Inverse gave it a 3 out of 10. Games Radar gave it a 2 out of 5. Shack News gave it a 6 out of 10. There's no doubt in my mind that the Lord of the Rings fans will appreciate a lot of what Gollum is offering. You sure about that?
What?
You sure about that?
I don't usually comment on other people's review, but that's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I only said because I've met a Lord of the Rings fan named Lucy James, and she did not seem to appreciate anything that this game was doing.
Oh no, that game is fundamentally broken, and when it's not breaking, it's just bad. So I don't know how you get to 6 out of 10, but shout out Shack News.
I don't think that's the highest score. I think there was a 7 out of 10, but it's not in this roundup. Aaron Bain.
Here's the thing. I messaged Lucy. I was talking to Lucy about this yesterday. I was like, I've already started seeing people defending Gollum. I think we are maybe a week or 2 weeks away from someone of note doing a genuine defense of Gollum. I think it's going to happen.
That was really rough on me when I played through the entirety of Balan's Wonderworld so that I could review it. And I know the ins and outs of the just complete failures of that game. And then a week later have some people who are reviewers and people who in our community just be like, so that's a good game. It's doing a lot of good stuff. I mean, what? No, please, no.
Love to be gaslit by entire communities.
I just really can't get that one. You have to change your suit if you want to jump over a 2-foot ledge. Twitch Square gave it a 2 out of 10. Says Lord of the Rings Gollum is a broken mess of a game. There are barely any redeeming qualities to be found amidst what can only be described as a massive missed opportunity. Okay, so hey, the good news here though, Tam, is...
Hold on. Please. This is not a missed opportunity. I don't think a stealth Gollum game was an opportunity, but they made a game anyway, which is crazy to me. If this was not an opportunity, all right, this was a bad idea that was executed badly.
The good news, though, is obviously that the studio has learned its lesson. It probably wants nothing to do with Lord of the Rings anymore. Anyway, next story. Gollum's awful launch supposedly isn't stopping Daedalic from developing another Lord of the Rings game. This comes from Kyle Knight at Dual Shockers. Despite receiving an absolute thrashing from critics and fans, Daedalic Entertainment is apparently working on yet another Lord of the Rings game. The studio has just released its first game based on the hit series The Lord of the Rings Gollum, which quickly became the worst reviewed game of the year. As reported by German outlet Gameswirtschaft.de, details on a second Lord of the Rings game by Daedalic were discovered in the database of video game projects receiving a German government subsidy. The codename for the project is It's Magic. It's reportedly set to be released by August.
We're gonna get Lord of the Rings Gandalf.
Yep. We're going to get Lord of the Rings, Wizard. I'm sorry, Wizard off,
Oh, Wizard, yeah.
Wizard off, yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, I mean, listen.
I don't know. If I'm Middle Earth Enterprises or whatever they're called, I'm like getting a plane ticket to Daedalic's office. I'm being like, let's have some words, shall we?
It's like, yeah, well, what is one car crash when you can have two for twice the price? Let's go for it. Let's see.
Doesn't Amazon own...
Amazon has like some deal to make some games with Embracer. Embracer owns Middle Earth Enterprises.
The one that owns it.
Yes, but then they made a big deal with at least for an MMO. I think it's Tomb Raider that Amazon has entirely, and then they have parts of Lord of the Rings. But a lot of these deals obviously were sparked before that Amazon deal and before I think before Embracer bought it as well. I think clearly because that was like last year, 2 years ago. And Embracer not listed at all on the profile, the store page for Gollum. It is, just Daedalic Publishing, Daedalic. I don't know how to say that studio, but whatever. Daedalic Developing. So yeah. Okay, we have the poll from yesterday. Rank the PlayStation Showcase on a letter grade scale. It's a hell of a bell curve here. A only 5%, but down at F only 6%. And then we get D is 18%, then B at 25%, and most people went with C at 46%. So the majority of people are in the C to B range, which I think is, and this is, almost 3,000 people voting. It kind of puts in perspective a little bit for me that most people probably did find a couple of games that they liked, and a lot of people were probably actually just happy to see Spider-Man 2 looking kind of cool. I voted C, by the way. That's where I'm at now. I'm at a C.
Yeah, I think C. It's fine. Spider-Man looks great. They announced Metal Gear, which...
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of in the wait and see with that, right? I mean, there's a lot of reasons to be skeptical, right?
Everyone should watch today's episode of Spot On, because let me tell you, we are talking about that, and I'm talking very fast and I'm talking very loudly.
Ooh, that's the kind of TAM content that I crave. Oh boy,
how you know something's going down.
Oh boy. All right. I need a poll question. I never came up with one. Oh, do we have any idea? Oh,
do you game while pooping?
Yes, there it is.
Yes,
thank you very much. All right, I'll write that up right now. Tam just told you about Spot On. What else do you have happening over there, and what else do you have happening this week and next week?
What is going on in UPF today?
I think we're just doing a one like last week where we're just going to play a bunch of games, a normal style UPF.
Oh, nice.
I think Gollum does have a multiplayer mode, right?
No, please don't put more Gollum on our screen.
Yes.
You know what you could do? Dangerous driving.
Dangerous. I actually want to play Bolt Gun. I want to play that Warhammer game. So I'm going to play that Boomer Shooter, and we'll see what else other people are going to bring. We'll go figure that out right now, though. But it's probably going to be a standard UPF. We had a lot of fun last week.
So we got UPF. We recorded Jeff's yesterday. I don't think that's coming out this week. Might be. Who knows? I can't remember. On the GameSpot side, we put together another week of our shows. So if you can, please do go and watch those. Jeff, we are preparing for Summer Games Fest. We have been talking to a bunch of people for both the Giant Bomb stuff at night and also the GameSpot stuff during the day.
Yes.
It's coming together, finally. It's coming together nicely, so that's very exciting. So
been putting the couch together, and now we got the combined weight of Tam, Lucy, and some other friends helping me get some even more cooler people on there. So I'm like pretty excited about that stuff happening. So definitely tune in. We'll have more to say about all of that soon. But in general, I mean, Summer Game Fest is going to be here before you know it. So that weekend we'll be talking over stuff. We will be then having the couch at night, and there's going to be a ton of content on GameSpot during the day. So tune in for all that. In the meantime, though, Tam, thank you so. Oh wait, we did get the poll. The poll's gonna go up on YouTube, everybody. So vote there.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, Tam, thank you so much for talking with me about video games today, man. You know I love it.
Thank you for having me, as always. Love to be on here.
And everybody, you're the best audience in gaming. Go get your gaming devices. Go get on the toilet and have a good one. Take care of yourself, and goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, hot mic still. I am bringing this up. Let's raid. Let's find somebody to raid. Yeah, let's do
it. Raid
Yeah.
Shadow Legends.
Give me the raid. Give me the money.
Should we raid someone that's playing Lord of the Rings Gollum?
Absolutely. Let's do that for the rest of the month.
Let's see who's fine. I typed in Gollum. We've got. Is this German? German streamer?
Mine shots? Probably.
Hold on.
Yeah, they got the
mine shot.
Deutsch in the
Dutch?
thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't know if we want to do Dutch.
Well, it's I think Deutsch actually does mean German language. I think.
Yeah.
We could do. There's comic. They're in English and Italiana. That's always fun. All right. Let's. let me click and see if anyone else is playing there.
Miss Mika.
And we do
Korean.
We do Miss Mika again. I was considering that earlier this week and then we didn't. So.
Yeah, let's do Miss Mika.
Okay. It is just how it's MISS MIKA.
MIKKAA.
That's right. Okay. All right, everybody. I'm gonna get the raid going here in a second. Dashboard. And we'll be back for UPF for sure. Yeah, we gotta record the next PIF. Maybe that's what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
MIKKAA.
I think so. I mean, I'm not super familiar with Miss Mika, so
no, that looks right. That looks like it's gonna take. Thank you. Okay, everybody. We are going to raid here right now. See y'all later. See y'all for UPF. Bye, everybody.
Bye.